I want to talk to you about some of the problems that you may be having in your business and how personal branding is really a solution that can act as sort of the foundation for your business and help you overcome some of the challenges that you're having, i.e., these problems.
All right, guys, we are back for another week. We are talking about a fruit, not a root. Those problems that you may be facing in your business with some solutions that have been brought to you by putting your personal brand to work, personal branding, so that you can have the success you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now. No further ado with the final 4 problems and solutions using personal branding. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is overwhelm. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. People get so frustrated with overwhelm because there's so much going on in the world. If you are a parent, if you are a spouse, friend of a lot of people, and you like to go out all the time, I don't know. There are just life things that get us, and sometimes we get overwhelmed by trying to balance our life and our business life and our personal life, and things get out of whack sometimes and we feel overwhelmed. Or maybe it's the fact that you are trying to do too much in your business and you're not operating in your zone of genius, and that's causing you stress and overwhelm. We'll get to that one in a minute. But if you want to solve this problem somewhat, the first thing you need to do is adjust your mindset and just recognize that it's going to happen. Like, I can't give you a tip that's going to keep you from ever feeling overwhelmed. But what I can do is share with you some things that you can do to minimize the possibility of you feeling overwhelmed. And the first thing that I'll say beyond that is to set goals and create a plan to achieve those goals. Because like, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And I think we sometimes find ourselves just wishing because we think that we can say, oh, I want X, Y, and Z, but then we don't do anything to move towards getting X, Y, or Z. So we have got to do a better job with that by creating a plan of action to actually achieve the goal. Now, the next thing is to pay attention to your numbers and what they say so that you're not spinning your wheels. If you are not looking at your analytics to determine where people are entering your website, where people are leaving your website, where people are coming from to see your website, it's going to be very difficult for you to know what type of content to create, where to put that content, where to invest more of your time. I just told you about a client. We realized that Facebook was really active for them over the last 3 months. So we want to, spend a little bit more time looking at how we can optimize the content that we're sharing on Facebook to maybe get a little bit more traction there. But it took us looking at the numbers to realize where those numbers were coming from. And the same goes for your website. Where is that traffic coming from? Where are they getting hung up or dropping off? Because maybe something on that page needs to be fixed so that you can keep them on that page longer, or at least get them to click on to another page that is of more interest to them. Now, the next thing that you want to do is not be afraid to fail. Failing is okay. If you want to get rid of some overwhelm, stop being so afraid of failing, because it's going to happen. I was this way too. Everything had to be perfect. I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want anyone to be upset with me. I didn't want anyone to not like me. And that's just not realistic. I'm just not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. I understand. But I am some people's cup of tea, or else I wouldn't still be here. So you have to be okay with failing. It's okay. As a matter of fact, it's probably the best thing for you because, hear me out, the faster you fail and you get something out of the way that doesn't work, the faster you can get to the thing that actually does work. So don't be afraid to fail. And then the last thing I'll say here when it comes to overwhelm is just take control of your calendar. I learned this back when I was doing Premier Designs jewelry, and it was such a good piece of advice. If you don't control your calendar, somebody else will. And if you are allowing someone else to control your calendar, that could be the source of your overwhelm and your stress, because you are doing way more than you need to be doing, because A, you have not created your personal framework, so you're not operating within it, and you have not set up your circumstances for optimal success so that you can manage your expectations and the expectations of others. And so because of that, you are not communicating effectively that you do not want to do certain things. And so people will take advantage of that. They will say, and I've heard it said to me, well, you didn't say you didn't want to do it. Well, I didn't know that it wasn't something that you didn't want to do. And so if you verbalize, no, I'm sorry, I recently had this as an issue. Let me just give you this little aside. As you know, I'm also a licensed cosmetologist and I do clients. Well, I had a friend of mine call me and said that his mom was in town and wanted her hair done. Well, she gets relaxers and I do relaxers. However, I don't do enough of them to keep relaxers in my salon because I don't do enough of them. So I said to him, I could do it if she were to go get a store relaxer, but as a licensed cosmetologist, I just don't feel comfortable recommending that. So what I'll do instead is I will go get you some referrals for those who actually do relaxers on a regular basis. And that's how I solved the problem. It wasn't a flat out, no, I will not help you, but it was I cannot help you in that way. See what I'm saying? So I was able to, and that comes in line with my calendar because I'm busy and really sometimes I just don't have time to do that. And so I was able to effectively say, no, I can't do your mom's hair. But it was a soft no because it was I can't, but I can help you find someone who can. See what I'm saying? So I was able to manage my calendar. So that's how you can solve that whole idea of overwhelm. Now, the next one is scaling your business. Ooh, is that not something we are all trying to do? Level up, honey, level up. Listen, if you've gotten this far in the video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and make sure that you leave a comment below and tell me about some of the problems you're having. And I'll get some solutions together for you and how you can use or leverage your personal brand to get some solutions, some resolution. Now, the next thing is scaling your business. So what are some solutions to that? Well, the first thing you need to do is measure your effort and adjust where necessary. Again, this goes back to your analytics because you need to know what you need to be doing better to get better results in your analytics. Next, you want to start your campaigns with the end in mind, and then you want to reverse engineer the path to get started, right? So what is it that you want this end game to be of this marketing campaign that's going to get you to the next level? It's going to grow you in a certain way. What's the end game? And then let's reverse engineer that thing so that we have a path to get there. Then the next thing is construct a solid foundation for your business. Put the BU in it. Again, that personal framework that we talked about earlier. Put yourself in your business so that you are organic in your communication and that you are authentic in your dealings. That will help you every single time. You will learn how to pick up the right dollar, not the wrong one. You will learn how to leverage who you are to get to the next level, to meet the right people, to be in the right circles, to present yourself and be credible in a certain way. Definitely put the BU in your business because, again, I talked about this also. Don't imitate, interpret. So don't be exactly like someone else because you can never do it as well as they do. Again, we go back to that blueprint, that fingerprint of you, and like you're the only one with the perspective you have and the combination of things. Don't try to be like someone else and do it the exact same way because it won't work. You have to do it your way. Therefore, you need to interpret what you see other people doing based on your own personal framework. And then the last thing here, if you want to scale your business, you've got to learn how to ask for what you want. You cannot sit back on your duff and pray that they come because you put out a sign. No, you need to work on your calls to action. You need to solicit yourself to be a guest on someone else's podcast, someone else's blog post. You need to solicit collaboration. Get out there and ask people to collaborate with you so that you can get in front of a new audience. Just ask when you need help. Like, don't sit there and not ask someone for help because your pride is getting in the way. No, ask for help. Ask for what you want and what you need. And that is a solution for scaling that you can use to help. You can use personal branding to help you with. Next is delegating or outsourcing. Are you struggling with that? A lot of people have come to me about struggling with building a team, not knowing what projects to give or what tasks to give the people that they are hiring or have intended to hire. I actually have someone that is a client of mine for creating systems and processes in their business. And she said that she had hired someone 3 weeks ago and has not known what task to give them to start working. So yeah. Okay. We don't want that to happen to you. So here are some things that you can do to solve that problem if you are struggling with delegating and outsourcing even. So the first thing is now you need to follow this because these might be a little bit difficult, but the first thing is to know your strengths and what areas of your business you apply them to. All right. So what are you doing great? What is your zone of genius? Write that down. Then you need to understand where bottlenecking is happening after you've applied your strengths and make a list of those things. Like if it's bottlenecking at the sales funnel part, start. If it's bottlenecking at how to get people to your website, if it's bottlenecking at getting those emails written every single week, if it's bottlenecking at creating those images because you're not a graphic designer. Think about where things are bottlenecking and make a list of that. Then you need to understand your limitations because they're going to get in your way, and you want to know how they are preventing you from achieving your goals. And then you want to make a list of those goals. You know your strengths, you understand that there's some bottlenecking that's happening. Even though you were able to get the top level of the task done, you're struggling down here. It's getting stuck here in this area, if that's the case. Okay, now you need to look at what are your limitations, and could those limitations be contributing to the bottlenecking? Because if they are contributing to the bottlenecking, then we need to look at how is that preventing you from achieving the goals further down the chain of your business, further down. Make a list of those various tasks that the bottlenecking is causing issues with, the limitations are causing issues with. Then you want to apply your circumstances for optimal success to the tasks and goals that you've listed so that you can make sure they're being completed to your standards. So this is important, and I want you to catch this. It is one thing to know that you need help with something. So say you want to outsource your social media. Well, in my opinion, yes, someone can post pictures up and they can schedule things, they can create videos or whatever, reels, but to get the essence of your brand message, to get the essence of your narrative, you really need to know what that is for yourself, and you need to set up a system for that, a template for that. You need to set up a guide, if you will, for that, so that whenever you're working with someone, you can say, okay, here's what I need to get out of this. This is what my brand is about. This is what my customer base expects from my business. And so that's what I mean by creating those circumstances for optimal success. What do you need to do and be your best in any given situation so that you can pass that on to the person that you are delegating this task to, so they can represent you in the same way in your absence. Okay, so that's the culture of your business, the brand message of your business, the identity of your business. You want to make sure that people know what that is. If in turn you are going to be outsourcing this, meaning you are going to contract things out, this is what people need to know. First of all, you need to apply the first things that I just shared with you. But in addition to that, I would definitely have a tangible brand plan. And this is so that the contractors understand what your expectations are, what you're looking for, the voice of your business, the identity or the character that, if you think of your brand as a person, what character does it have? You want them to understand that, and you want them you want a brand kit so that they know your colors and what people have come to know, any images or logos that you have come to be known for. You want to make sure that they have all of that as well, so that they are armed with what they need to be your voice in your absence. Okay. Then the next thing you want to do if you're going to be outsourcing is, before you give people the whole kit and caboodle, right, and let them run with it, test them first. Give them a small task that takes a small amount of time, maybe a week or so, and see if they are performing to your standards. Remember, you set those circumstances for optimal success. These are the standards that they need to fall within so that they are capturing the essence of your brand, and you feel like that is going to follow through the rest of the way. And you want to make sure that there is synergy there, right? That you work well with them, they take direction well, they execute well, blah, 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 so forth, so on. You want to then evaluate what they're doing, and then you want to make a decision about whether or not you want to use them. So hopefully that helps you solve the delegation and outsourcing problem. Now, the last problem that some people have once they have actually gotten a team together, it seems like they're not sticking around. Like they can't seem to get the right person, whatever it is. They can't seem to hire or build out the right team. It's frustrating. They don't know really how to overcome this situation. If that's you, here is the solution. First of all, you want to create that company culture that we just talked about when it comes to delegating. You want to make sure that you're creating, you're fostering a culture in your business that attracts the right people. When I'm talking to my clients about creating social media posts and attracting their audience, it's like a friendship, right? So you don't just make friends, you have to nurture friends. You have to make sure that you have similar ideas and thoughts and hobbies and interests if you want them to stick around. Well, the same holds true when you're looking for employees to build your team out. You want to make sure that they have similar work ethic, that they have similar goals and aspirations, that they are kind of identifying with your company's culture and they fit fit in it, all before you hire them. So that means you got to go do your due diligence, do your research, ask the right questions, give the right test, all of that before you ever hire them. Also, you want to create an onboarding template and process because you want to make sure that you are crossing T's and dotting I's before they ever get started, right? So that means having contracts ready, having expectations written out, so that they can read them, and then you have acknowledgement so that they say they understand certain things in working with you have to be met. Certain standards have to be met. They acknowledge it. They say that they can do it. All of that stuff before you ever hire them. Then you hold up your end of the bargain because you found someone who identifies with your company culture. You feel they fit in. You have shared your expectations. They've shared their expectations, and you've had sign-offs and acknowledgements along the way before they get started. So now that they've started, it's just a matter of everybody staying true to what they said they would do, which I know doesn't always happen, but I think following these simple tasks, these simple steps will go a long way in helping you to decrease the amount of turnover because you'll be doing your due diligence on the front end to make sure you're picking the right people to hire in the first place. So the likelihood of them not being the right people is a little bit lower, if that makes sense. All right, that is the end of this week's video.
So I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. I appreciate you for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Don't forget, you can also hang out with me over on Instagram where we can have real-time conversations in my DMs. Go ahead and screenshot yourself watching this week's video and tag me over on Instagram, AF Patrick, and your name may be drawn to have a coffee with me to go over how we can leverage your personal brand to do better business, to do better and be better in your business so that you can have that personal life, business life intersect to find your quality of life. All right, see you again next week. Bye.